following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And we'll be back here in just a minute. Well, it's another wonderful day. I have to say that it's just an interesting day out here, as always. I am your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we like to meet at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And, well, we're off 4 points on the S&P cash. Volume is tepid at 2.24 billion shares. So volume kind of coming back in line in what it's been like in previous summers. Hurry up and wait has been my tune for the last 2 days. I suspect that we don't go much of anywhere. The big news today, of course, was probably in energy. The API numbers were a bit different than we saw from the government numbers this morning. In the 3 o'clock hour, I'm going to join Andy Heck, and we'll be talking about maybe what we should take away from API numbers and EIA numbers. I'll be in the second segment with him, and we'll be discussing that next hour, along with a lot of other things where equities merge and have a synergy with commodities. So look forward to that in the next hour. But we will continue moving along. What else is let's see, what do we have here? There we go. And we'll move along. What else do we have out here? 2.25 billion shares. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what's going on here. Just until we get numbers in the morning at 8:30 for jobs, I don't think you can expect a great deal. I kind of expected us to close at this about where we're at now, 2095 yesterday. And of course, today we're right back to that number after closing a little higher yesterday, closing a little lower today. There's just not a lot of juice. Of course, earnings start on Monday. I think we'll probably have a little bit of movement going on first thing in the morning. But my guess is it will then be hurry up and wait for Monday after the bell. We've got Alcoa. As we said, we'll talk to Andy Heck about maybe some of these companies and how they may fare going into next week. What else is going on out here? Well, like I said, not a lot happening when you either look at the NASDAQ and or, of course, the S&P. We're up, 4 points on the S&P cash. So that could be it. What else do you have out here? I think that's about it. Why don't we get this party started with a little bit of history?
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And on this day in 2005, if you remember, in the early morning, bombs are detonated in 3 of the crowded London subways. 1 bus during the peak of the city's rush hour. Synchronized suicide bombings were thought to be the work of Al-Qaeda, killed 56 people, including the bombers, injured another 700. And why they say it's bombs in this article, if you remember right, this is the first chemical gas attack in the Western world, and why it injured so many people. It was the largest attack on Great Britain since the World War II by some people that probably not that far from the Nazis. But we forget very quickly about these things. It is a dangerous world, and Maybe because I was born on the opposite side of the street of the Alamo. Like they said, remember the Alamo, remember your history, or you are doomed to repeat it. We've got a lot of stuff going on out here. What do we got here? One of the things that I thought was most interesting is a little shakeup in Microsoft. It basically made me think of one big clip from Star Wars.
The rebellion will continue to gain support in the Imperial Senate.
The Imperial Senate will no longer be of any concern to us. I have just received word that the Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently. The last remnants of the old Republic have been swept away.
That's right. The last remnants of the old Microsoft Republic are no more. The COO, Kevin Turner, has left. He's the last of the bomber generation. He's taking a CEO role at Citadel Securities. They're a pretty famous bunch for shorting. My guess is that he will have a lot of inside track going forward in what's happening in technology. So it's probably a win-win. They are not going to be replacing him at Microsoft, but divvying up the jobs between other folks. And I think it's kind of interesting to see Microsoft being run well, lean, and of course, more important, you don't want a lot of dead wood hanging around from previous administrations. And probably one of the best things that they could do, which is cut the last ties. I have a feeling there was probably a little bit of friction because a lot of people don't want to admit that they spent 10 or 15 years doing everything wrong with Steve Ballmer. Not everything horribly wrong, just kind of sort of wrong, not being able to go anywhere. But the last vestiges of the old empire at Microsoft are gone from the Ballmer days, and we are now onto the Satya Nadella days, where the stock has gone from $24 to solidly in the 50s. And I don't know if there's anything more to say about it other than that. I think we talked a little bit about it last week, but Microsoft actually going to get into the all-in-one business. That's where the computer is the monitor. Basically, you hook up a keyboard and a mouse and you're ready to go. They're going to be adding a lot of new features and a desktop versions that are supposed to be anywhere from 24-inch to 50-inch desktop models with 4K resolution. So if you're looking for a computer, you may be able to actually buy a desktop all-in-one from them as soon as October this fall. The insiders basically say that Kevin Turner wasn't on board with a great deal of this. As I said, most of these people that have left Microsoft have pretty much left to go to other roles and actually made even more money than if they would have stayed at Microsoft. So kind of a win-win. Even when you leave, you make more money. That's not a bad deal. Just not kind of a guaranteed contract on the opposite side of it. But you'll probably get at least 2 or 3 years at Citadel. So we're not going to hold any benefits for him. We'll be back after this short timeout.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Yeah, the question in the den is Bill Gates owned Microsoft shares. Yes, he still does. And from occasionally, they give him more shares. They have him on as a consultant, and of course he's on the board. But he used to, in fact, he sold for almost 15 years straight to the point where he wasn't the #1 shareholder anymore. Now he's way down in the ranks, but still fairly significant shareholder in Microsoft. And of course, still the richest guy in the world. So if that tells you anything. What else do we have going on in here? A bunch of names. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to actually see out here. Some questions. You can always email me at path@tfnn.com. Yes, the movie premiere was great, and my new best friend in Hollywood, and I mean by new best friend as he shook my hand in line. The movie was good. I'm not going to praise it or demean it. I'll let you all wait until the reviews come out. I think they come out Friday. But I enjoyed it. So, but I'm not going to either pound the table or run out saying that I was scared of it. I'll let others decide. But I thought it was worth the while. Anyway, Microsoft is now bomber-free. And, what can you say? Other things going on, Samsung has its mojo back, baby. And we're talking about some big mojo. And what's so funny is everybody saying that basically Samsung was going out of business. It rose on two key metrics. The first one was that they've now figured out a way to really start cutting the cost on Galaxy S7 smartphones. So they are doing a great deal more on the way of margins. They still have 86, well, Android does have about 86% of the market. The most important thing is they've made huge inroads in people buying very expensive Android phones, much better than they did on the 5 or the 6. The other side of it is their memory operation has started to really bear a great deal of fruit. We talked about how they were coming into this memory space and had spent somewhere in excess of $3.5 billion in building new plants to get into the memory business. But for all those people that have been Samsung versus Apple, Samsung certainly has turned the corner. Apple was up a bit today. Let's see if I have a last tick out here. Up 27 cents. It was up to $96.49 as a high today, kind of pulling back with the general market. We're off 8 points on the S&P cash. But I just think we're going to hang around this 2090 area until we get enough. Yes, I already got an email from somebody. Are we back in the doldrums? And the answer is yes. Another question out here is, as an aside, is it possible to wipe a server so clean that emails cannot be recovered and someone can hack and leave a trace of no hacking activity? I have a feeling the idea behind this question is the news. The question is it possible to wipe a server so clean that emails cannot be recovered? The answer is sort of. And the question should be, better question, how much money are you willing to spend on it? If you're the government prosecuting a criminal, the question is, how big a fish is the criminal? Are you willing to spend millions of dollars to get answers off that hard drive? If you are, there's a much better chance you can get information off a hard drive. Now, what the government says to do with hard drives and what you should do as traders that might have information that people could use off your hard drive is that you get a program that writes ones and zeros to it multiple times. After that, the people, not only in the government, but big corporations, have, I'm going to call it chipper shredders, like tree tripper shredders that you throw the tree in, it just turns it into mulch. They have machines that are specially designed to actually do that, literally go back and do it. They used to throw them in acid when the platters were made of metal, but a lot of the platters today are actually made on glass or a glass-like substrate. And, of course, throwing them in acid doesn't do anything anymore to them but eat everything other than the platters. So, again, it's how much money do you want to spend? And can you hack and not leave a trace of hacking activity? And the answer is sort of yes also. What you can do is, if you don't have all the safeguards in place for a secure server, let's say like the ones that have been in the news out here, they keep a log of everything that is done. That log is not editable. Especially on the more secure servers like Microsoft and Oracle and Sun used to make. They actually make secure versions of computers, and whatever you do goes out on a log, and that log is it's usually encrypted and then sent yet to another computer, so that if you wiped everything off that computer, reinstalled the software, there would still be yet another copy somewhere else of exactly what happened on that server. The idea behind, I guess, in the news out here is why was it harder to reconstruct this stuff? And the answer, and find out if someone hacked you. The problem is no one can really tell if you don't have those security features on. But think of it as an audit trail. When you go to the ATM and you get your little, what would you call it? Your receipt back. If you're not kicking out receipts, then how can anybody ever go back and say differently? And that's basically what it is. Every transaction in a database can be reconstructed, given enough time, everything else. So, yeah, for the most part, the answer is yes, especially when you come to the CIA. or nation states, probably the UK government, MI6, other places. If you want to go after the hard drive platters with a scanning electron microscope and spend some time, you can reconstruct everything off that drive, even if it was wiped completely dried. I don't think that they like to let people know that they can do it, so it's not advertised, it's not brought up, and it goes back to a few of the things that we've talked about before, which is either the FBI or the CIA. They don't want anybody to know how they get their information, which is sources, and they don't know and don't want anybody to know what their methods are for actually doing it. So sources and methods, and not a whole lot on that other than that. But yeah, the only way to actually do it is physically destroy it. Any decent server, any decent company would always have an audit trail for both databases and the server itself, so everybody could always know what was going on. Someone couldn't just back up, restore the computer to the way it was before it came in, and that was it. We'll be back after this break.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I had a quick question to take a look at Samsung Electronics. And this is, I mean, basically their February lows out here. Pretty good move up and off those lows. from February. This is the Zetra DAX. It also trades on the Korean Stock Exchange, but I think it's kind of blocky on that one. This one at least made a little bit more sense to me. I don't have, on this particular computer, don't have my full-blown data source for foreign stocks, but it's not an easily tradable stock either. But give you a good idea if you want to look at Apple's chart compared to Samsung's chart. Doing very well, actually, and it's not just one thing. They've turned a great deal around, but I'm going to plug it into two things, and that is very good sales of the new iPhone, their Samsung S7, along with lower costs, and they've actually gotten a little bit more aggressive on memory, and that's been a good thing for them too, since of course they put a great deal of memory in their own devices. So not a bad deal out here. Another question in the den, and of course you can send me a question at path@tfnn.com or give me a call at 877-927-6648. The other question is, or was, for SSDs, can you wipe them totally clean? And the answer is they're even more dangerous than actual spinning hard drives that have been around for a long time. The reason why is that they randomly put your data in different parts of the hard drive so that they don't overuse any one particular memory location in it, because they only, depending on which ones you get, they can take, some of them can take 500,000 writes, some of them 1 million, some of them 10 million. But what they've always done, because especially in the early days, the software would randomly put the block of data somewhere on there. It does not erase it when you say you no longer want it. It's still on there, just like a spinning hard drive. So when you go to erase that sector, you may or may not have erased actually that memory in that chip in that SSD. So that's another one that goes to the tripper shredder. If you see these big vans and trucks running around from, I think they're called Iron Mountain, that shred documents, these are the trucks that have the chipper shredders in them. And the one I saw a couple years ago, maybe even a year ago, had like this microwave that you threw the SSDs in, and they would microwave them first and then throw them into the chipper shredder. So kind of a belt and suspenders thing there. But I've seen a bit of that microwaving memory business, and it seems to be, I haven't researched it, but it seems to be one of the things that a lot of people seem to think will work on memory. And the question again is whether or not the CIA has some way of going back and reconstructing all that stuff. Again, how much time and how much money do you want to spend? If you're a drug dealer, they're probably not going to throw $10 billion to throw you in jail. If they're trying to find somebody with a nuclear bomb, yes. So the question is just how far will they go? Does your local police department have the ability to do that? Probably not. So a little bit more. What else do we have out here? Is that about it for news? I think it, well, no, it wasn't. I wanted to look at CMG real quick. As we said, and I think it very apocryphal. Is that the right word? We'll talk to Andy Heck in the next hour. But his comment about CMG, actually his articles about CMG, was it already last year? Was it this year? I'll have to ask him. I can't even remember. I remember I help write the headlines sometimes. I like to give him like snappy little ideas that Seeking Alpha shoots down because, of course, they are far too politically incorrect. Chipotle was down a little bit today, and it doesn't seem, it was more like about 3% down today. But this thing is actually starting not to look so bad. But was down 3% already this morning. And this actually comes from the author of the Jason Bourne movie, who wrote the script. And it was down 3.4% this morning on one thing, and that was that he said that his editor had eaten at Chipotle the night before and was violently sick, and they traced it back to the Chipotle in Manhattan. I don't know if maybe it's just because it's summer, this is not getting the traction. Maybe it's because it's happened so many times that everybody is just getting used to it. But we'll talk a little bit more in Andy in the next hour about Chipotle and maybe his feelings about how food with what was it? Food with dignity, food with food with integrity. You just had to know that eventually that slogan was going to bite them. Kind of like "Don't be evil" with Google. You're just asking for it, aren't you? You're just daring God on that. Anyway, we're going to get into some charts here now and get going. But, Chipotle, not all that bad. I like to see stocks going sideways for a while and consolidating. I also don't think that this looks all that bad here. I wouldn't be going short. I think being short at $700 makes a lot more sense here. Could this thing go back into the $100 mark? I don't know. A lot has to do with whether or not they can keep it up. A lot of competing companies, at least down here in my area. And the question is whether or not there aren't going to be a lot of Me Too's to the point where it waters down what was the experience of Chipotle. And kind of makes me think of, what was that Yankee player who said, he said, no one goes there anymore. It's far too busy. One of those kind of witticisms for what it was. Maybe I'll think about it out here. Yogi Berra, yeah. Andy Heck is chiming in. He thinks that there should be a new gastrointestinal index for CMG to see whether you could invest in it at the moment. I've cleaned up his language a little bit, but gastrointestinal index. So that would be the GII or just the GI. Huh. You get that, what I did with that one? Anyway, let's look at some other charts out here. I'm having far too much fun as the markets go kind of sideways. Still off 8 points on the S&P cash, so we'll talk about that. Let's take a look at some of the movers out here today. We'll try to go through these kind of fast and actually get into some. Alexandria Real Estate bounced off fairly hard today. Again, most of these REITs look priced astronomically high. Lots of volume, and this is when Tom talks a lot about volume off the top. I think you can qualify this one as a volume off the top. I would not pull the trigger on this. I would probably wait until it goes back above the 9-day moving average, and the next close underneath it, I would look at shorting it. So kind of missed the train here. Pretty hard to short this one the way it was acting, but I think you want to keep an eye on these. We'll be back after this short commercial time off.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, many commodities are trading at relative lows. And now you can take advantage with Everbank's new limited time, 5-year, market safe currency comeback CD. This indexed and US dollar denominated CD offers 100% principal protection and is based on the equally rated performance of currencies of Australia, Canada, Chile, Mexico, and South Africa. These 5 countries are especially rich in commodities, and their respective currencies are poised to do well should commodity prices begin to recover. Keep in mind that no APY or periodic rate of interest is paid on the CD. Don't miss out on this innovative new financial opportunity. CDs must be opened and funded by the upcoming July 14th deadline. To apply online and learn more about the CD, including product terms and disclosures, visit everbank.com/TFNN now. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we're back, just a short announcement. This is a short week, and I had an extra day off. But since we've got an open hour between 4 and 5 tomorrow Eastern time, I'll be doing a special Tech Insider Hour that we haven't been doing for a while. And we'll set that up. Everybody likes to kind of leave early on Friday, but we're going to do an extra day of extra hour of programming tomorrow night with a shortened week. So hang on for that. I'll try to put something special together over the night, and we'll talk about it. And if you've got some wide-ranging, more fundamental questions about technology, kind of as we've already asked today, especially on individual stocks, that would be a good time to get them together. As always, you can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can call me at 877-927-6648 or put a message in the den. What else did we have out here? I wanted to look at Costco real quick. Take a quick look. It popped fairly early this morning, up 4%. Now, the idea about this, or the headlines are that it's Amazon proof. And the question is, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But certainly it is Amazon resistant. Numbers out were pretty good today. A nice move, lots of volume. This has and popped through a couple of gaps. Those gaps were kind of minor gaps going back to the 4th and 6th of February. So this one's going to come through it. The volume is good. Now what we really have to do is go through these December gaps from last year. That's the 9th of December. Gap down on 9.5 million shares. We're coming in at about 5 million shares now. So probably not enough to blow those out. But you have to think, well, maybe these things are doing a little bit better than a lot of people thought. You know, when we look at Walmart, pretty much back up to its previous high. Volume was good also in this retailer, $74.14 from July 16th was the last one. And of course, we didn't quite get there. We're about 16 cents short. But continues to look very interesting. What else do we have? You know, you've got this big gap down here. I would have liked for this to kind of pull back a little bit more into the 66 area, maybe even 65 before it went higher, but still looks very interesting. What see, we have AVG. This one was getting a buyout today. I never really thought of much about this thing as a buyout candidate. Kind of slipped under the radar. Certainly is out there. If you're unfamiliar with this, it is one of the bigger technology companies. I do use some of their products, not all of them. I'm a big fan of Avast for who's actually buying them, by the way, for $25 a share in cash. So this actually puts a little bit more on it. Both companies were actually founded in the Czech Republic in the 1980s and 1990s, where hackers, kind of the wild, wild west. You can do anything and not have to worry about the long arm of the FBI coming in to get you. So it's one of those catch a thief, use a thief to catch a thief kind of things. But it's going on. Anyway, it will be nice because now I will have all their products under one company, and maybe they'll put the best things of AVG along with Avast. I use a program called TuneUp Utilities that AVG bought not that long ago, and Avast for virus protection. And, of course, Malwarebytes is the other program that I really like for these things. What else do we have going on out here? Barclays, I guess maybe we should look at a few of these banks. Had a nice bounce, kind of gave a little bit of this back. You have to kind of like 150 million shares on June 27th to just 24 million shares yesterday. Got a little bounce out of that. You know, you've got your back kind of against the wall. It's hard for me to make a case that you want to buy Barclays. But you know, normally after a big move like this, when a stock is cut in half, I say, you know, something like 2-3 weeks of consolidation. If it still looks like the $6.76 level can hold, you might want to look at some options. I don't think I'd want to risk the whole thing, but if it's not going anywhere, option prices are cheap. Flyers on some of those European banks may be very interesting if the charts continue to support maybe something else than what we're thinking about. BioMarin Pharmaceuticals, last week we talked about several sectors, one of those being the finances, and energy as being the weak sisters, and biotech being the strong one. I still suspect that biotech is going to hold up a little bit better. I think we could get a decent pullback in biotech and get another chance to get a bite at the apple on those. Nice little bounce out here on BioMarin, BMRN. And to get the headline at now, it continues to get takeover speculation, so that it's not that, but they do have some good news coming too for hemophiliacs. That drug is coming down the path. There are a few others that they have in the pipeline, so it's not the end of the world, even if margins do pull back a little bit. Of course, we've vastly come off of highs. This one was what, $151 back July 20th of last year. So, you know, $90, even with the political risk out here, doesn't look all that bad. Ideally, as a person that is greedy, I need probably $62.12 to get any kind of long-term position on it. But, you know, these don't look all that bad. Energy, of course, fairly good off this last move. I like this kind of sideways action that we've had going back to March 3rd. But as I said last week, the strongs sectors certainly look like biotechs, maybe semiconductors pulling up a little bit better today. And the worst ones, energy, which I thought was probably even better than shorting the banks. In fact, let's look at the XLF and see how my prognostication, Nostradamus is my name, by the way. You know, not too bad since last week. I thought we'd have a little bit of a bounce out here. I think a lot of people could make a case that, or a lot of people would make a case that you're having it set up for an ABC out here. One of the things that you probably would have liked to seen is a lot lighter volume. You'd probably, for me to short this 2 and look into that sector, you'd probably want at least 23 on this. You kind of came up short. You got 22.90, maybe close enough. I could see how somebody could bite on it. You have a high volume low, so it doesn't mean that you could go long the XLF. But like I said, maybe there's a little bit of congestion, a little bit of consolidation out here before we change a great deal of what's going on. But to me, energy certainly looked like the weaker sister of these. But we'll look at the XLE when we come back.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Andy Heck's going to be sitting in the next hour of Tom O'Brien. I've got a bunch of things we're going to talk about. Alcoa earnings are next week. Going to get Andy's input on the commodities for aluminum and metals. We're also going to talk about CMG a little bit. And, of course, a little bit more going on out here for the API numbers, which made everybody a little bullish last night. And then we get the EIA numbers this morning, and everybody's a little bit bearish out here. Certainly, you know, from the charts out here, you didn't like to see that light volume high at 68.85 from the 1st of July. Of course, not a big deal on that day. Volume was going to be a little lighter anyway. But we'll get his kind of opinion on that. From my charts, just purely on the XLE, what I didn't like about energies was the big energy down from that June 8th high, at least in the XLE. We were maybe about 10 or 15% more energy on the way back down off that June 8th high. And of course, you came in 3 million shares lighter than the April 28th high on it. So maybe as good as it can get for a while. I've seen some really wild predictions for both gold and oil. We'll get Andy's his take on it in the next hour when I talk to him a bit, and kind of get into where equities kind of meld with commodities. We'll put it that way, along with far too much fun that normally Andy and I have when we text each other back and forth. So look forward to that. Got a couple minutes left here, just checking the email to see. Question about whether there's anything to be had in Western Digital. As I said, I don't see anything changing. We talked about SSDs earlier. Man, these things are getting, even the ones that I look at, get cheap. In fact, I've brought it up before, but I have a bunch of computers here. I do a lot of programming. I put my SSDs, if you're watching on Tiger TV, in little cartridges that I can just pop in and out of the hard drive of the computer, so I can run Ubuntu Linux on the same machine, or I can write various versions of Windows from XP all the way to Windows 10 without having to have a separate computer for all of them, and easily back them up. But man, I'm seeing 250 gigabyte hard drives and SSDs at Best Buy today. I think I saw an ad for $40. And that means that it's very tough to make the case that at least smaller hard drives should make a deal for Western Digital. They certainly need to get into the business of making drives that way. I just think they've waited far too long. Seagate has already got into that business. Do I have that? STX. We'll talk about a few of these things tomorrow night in the 4 o'clock hour when we do our Tech Insider hour. I was short the hard drive sector when Western Digital was above 100. It gets a lot tougher when everybody knows the story. I like it when I get into a position that has a long path before everybody gets too fired up about it. It's bounced off the bottom. You got a high volume bottom back here in Seagate that would take you back to 1842. I'll look at these a little bit more, but we'll talk about them in the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow. We'll talk about technology, the big four horsemen, the FANGs. We'll go through a little bit. Maybe it'll be my biannual review of big tech tomorrow. Maybe that's what I'll look at. Anyway, I'll see you in the next second segment of Andy's show.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.